Skytlow Clark. Alright, now. I know we've been talking about politics, and I don't really know if I buy it all, but I did want to talk about Trump again because it's a fascinating topic to ponder and think about. But the other thing was the people that are going to vote. You got to remember one thing. Think about this, okay, too. Yes, you may have all candidates could be horrible snakes. They could be. We don't know. We definitely know Hillary and Bill Clinton are up to no good. But the thing I wanted to point out was with Trump not being PC correct, and he's definitely strong on the Second Amendment. So, and the borders, okay. With these choices, I'm not even going to mention Sanders because I don't even think he's an issue. It's going to be Clinton and Trump. That's what it's going to be, Clinton versus Trump. But here's the issue you got to think about. Whether or not you like either one and you see through all of it, if you get Clinton, first thing you lose is freedom of speech. Second thing you're going to lose is probably your right to bear arms. And then the third thing you're going to lose is your border, because she wants to dissolve, or completely dissolve her border with Mexico. You know, and this woman is ridiculous. She spends, she's spending, political taxpayer special interest money, okay, on her own self, basically government money to a certain degree, because she's already involved working for the government. Donald Trump supports his own campaign, paid for his campaign, and has the record for wins, okay, votes and all this stuff, but that's not the point. What I'm trying to say is, with Hillary, you're going to get dissolved border, you're going to get she's going to decide what hate speech is and define it, because, of course, nobody knows how to be as hateful as that haggardly, wicked witch of the East, Hillary Clinton, and her coke addict husband, Bill Clinton. The thing is do you want, now, with this Donald Trump being politically incorrect, you're not going to get hate speech, or you're not going to get hate crimes, hate speech crimes, okay? You're going to have free speech still, and they're still going to try to keep you're still going to be able to want to keep your guns with this guy, okay? So I don't see him doing anything different. Now, he runs on his own steam. That's the other thing you got to give him. Those are the only things I really see he has going for him, and the fact that he understands Islam is a horrible trap and a terrible religion to be in, and that you got to stop it from entering the country. And the thing is, he's won a lot of people's favor just because he's saying, like I said before, something that makes sense compared to the other candidates that don't make any sense whatsoever. And Hillary Clinton's made so many blunders, big blunders she's made. She's had a lot of blunders because, I mean, look at her history, and look at the crime network of that family, and look at what we got with all these years of Obama. You think Obama was something. Hillary Clinton is worse than Obama. Believe that. She's a female, okay, feminist, and She's a feminazi, okay? Really, what I call a feminazi. What I'm doing is I am not trying to influence votes as much as I am trying to say the only reason why you would want to vote, if you even think the votes aren't rigged or whatever, the obvious choice they're giving you is Trump. It makes sense. He makes sense. The others don't. He's for nationalism. And, if you want to keep those rights, you want to protect those rights, I wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton. So, I don't know if it sounds like a hypocrite or if I'm just trying to just state the facts that are clear, because I don't want to look like a hypocrite and say, I'm anti-politics. At the same time, talk about who to vote for. I don't want to be influencing votes. I want people to wake up to the reality that there's no real obvious choice if you are going to vote and depend on the voting process to do anything and believe in it, then you got no real choice. You can either, like I said, because Hillary Clinton is going to stamp out, she's going to go nuts. If she gets in office, she'll go nuts, and she will eliminate free speech. She'll eliminate a lot of stuff. They may even try to implement their I forgot the name of it, but it's about child social services with children. Okay, and they try to implement this, and this is United States the only one that's actually smashed this down. Clinton put this in office, and what it is gives children's rights over the parents. Okay, the children's rights over the parents' choices to how to raise the children. Any little thing they disagree with, they call a social worker, and if they want to be removed from the home, they can be, or force the parent to comply. That is true. Check that out. I forgot what law that was. That's another law you don't want. You don't want people that believe that the government has the right to teach or to develop your child. It does not take a village to raise a child. It doesn't. Okay? That's just the stupidest thing I ever heard, because you know what? My mom raised me. I didn't have neighbors that I took care. My mom was the neighbor. My mom was the neighbor that was letting all the other neighborhood kids come over. Okay, so, that kind of scenario. But Hillary Clinton, she's all bad. Okay, every sign points towards bad, and she is evil bitch, really, communist, hateful. She definitely hates Israel, and she's a hypocrite. She spends money, like I said, government money probably. I think it was her that bought a $12,000 jacket. Okay, got a $12,000 jacket, and went to an inequality meeting or conference. People talking about inequality, and she's wearing a $12,000 jacket, and somebody pointed that out, how hypocritical that is. So, you know what? I know people don't want to trust Trump, and I'm not trying to, I'm really not trying to influence, because, like I say, I hardly believe in votes anyway. I don't really believe it really matters, because I think it's fixed to a certain degree. But if you want to believe in the voting process and you want to look at the candidates, you're going to get the lesser of two evils, if you want to call it that, is Trump. Okay? If you want to call it that. No telling what kind of situations he may get us into. But we know with Hillary Clinton what we get. And that's less freedom, more infringement. I bet you she'll spy like crazy, because women love gossip. It'll be a dictatorship, and it's going to be a mind control. Masses are being controlled. Man, I'm telling you. I don't know what else to say other than the fact that I've dreamed about this woman. She swings a sickle, and she does it from behind. And dreams I've had about her is she swings a sickle at me, and there's a conveyor belt, and everything's underground, and it's a living hell. And everything's underground. Everyone's underground, living and acting underground. Literally underground. Maybe it's that tunnel that they have built, I don't know. But there's a conveyor belt that comes through there in my dream. And it has merchandise and products and stuff that's being shipped to certain locations within the tunnel. And one of them's a television. I can't explain exactly what was. There was something playing on the television as it went past the conveyor belt, and it was supposed to grab my full attention. But I have good peripheral vision, and in the dream, I could tell she's going to swing that sickle. She swung that from behind at the moment when I was least paying attention, when that television image was catching my eye. When it got most of my attention, that television, she swung that sickle from behind. But I'm quick, and I have good peripheral vision, and I have good reflex. So I ducked, and it was weird because when I ducked, she was astonished, and they were all surprised, and she was furious that she missed me, that she didn't chop my head off. And then those people around her that were guarding her, her advisors or her guards or her personal people that protect her, were talking to her, and then they were saying, he's the one from the prophecy, because they were waiting. And she was furious because she knew that whatever she did, there was no way she could stop me. Whatever I put my mind to, she couldn't stop me. And within all that power she had, she could not swing that sickle. She always hits her target with her sickle, see, and she hated that in my dream. She missed with me. And they were just like astonished, and they were telling her, he's the one from the prophecy, and then they were just talking about it amongst themselves as if like whispering, kind of like as if what to do next, with this information. And she couldn't believe it, but she had to believe it because they were telling her to believe it. And she was just so angry and frustrated. It was like I was untouchable. I couldn't be hurt by her. I couldn't be harmed by her. And she knew that for some reason I was the one that would be like, I'm this chosen one in this dream that to basically, I don't know, the only one that can stop her. I don't understand the dream, fully. Really just know it was a very kind of like Mad Max type wicked, just and the presence of just evil wickedness. I mean, just unrelenting, satanic evil presence in the dream. Okay, of just horrible situations, dark, underground, ruled by Hillary Clinton. So I don't know what that is, what it means, or anything like that. I'm not a dream interpreter, and rarely do I have dreams, or that I remember. A long time ago, I prayed to Yahweh to remove The dreams I couldn't understand if they're prophetic, because I would have these prophetic dreams. I would dream about something and it would happen. Not to me, someone else. Certain situations, world events, certain situations that I would dream about, and then I would realize it too late to do anything, to share it with anyone. So I did not understand why I was having these dreams, so I asked, if I cannot do anything to make a change with these dreams, then please do not show them to me anymore. And rarely do I have dreams, but anymore, that I remember. So when I do remember them, this particular dream is one of the most vivid dreams of my life I ever had. Okay, I've had about two my whole life, and the other one was a dream about something I'll get into another day, totally off subject, but these are your choices. You go down this road, you're going to get Hillary Clinton taking your guns, taking your free speech, free assembly, wearing $12,000 jackets to inequality places, making all the deals with every devil possible. And she's already a known criminal liar. So Donald Trump's running on his own money, running on his own steam, and everyone's been pitted against him. Even people amongst the party he's a member of now, the Republican Party, have been pitted against him. But against all odds, he is succeeding. Is he a part of the cabal? Some say yes, some say no. Some that are really smart people think not, because of the signs that he supports himself. He's not PC'd up. All these different things that they point out why he's not. He wants to build up a wall. All these things that he says makes people think he's not part of the cabal. But if he is, then all this is just staged. So you get what you get, and you don't have a fit. I got my stripes on. Like I said, my son took the flag with him when he moved out, so you could thank him for that. I'd like to see it. I got other flags. I got more. That was the bigger one that we had here, and I forgot it was his, but anyway. So now I don't stand in front of any flag, which is fine with me, because that flag was not about, like I've explained in the past. Anyway, it's not there. Don't matter. These other people are going to say, "Oh, you said you were going to take it down, and your wife said no, leave it up. You should leave it up." That's not what happened. My son moved out, and that was where my flag went. So if anyone's still wondering what happened to my flag and didn't catch that video, my son moved. He moved out, and that was his flag to take when he left. So we'll get another flag, but I think I'm gonna try to get my coat of arms, my family crest or something a little closer to home that identifies who I am. Anyway, so I know it sounds like a political agenda, the way I was speaking, and in a way it kind of is, but it's not to promote politics. It's more just to talk about it, because it's interesting, the choices you have and the possibilities and the things being said. And the government is, with these immigrants coming in from from south of Mexico, all these criminals, diseased criminals are coming in, and rapists. They're coming in, and the government is paying out $20,000 per person. Okay, and Obama has let 500,000 into the country every year. Every year, 500,000. 550,000, I believe, actually. You want to be correct, or 560. I'm not sure, but 500,000 nonetheless. So you want, and believe this: if Hillary gets in office, she's going to triple those numbers. She wants to dissolve the wall. Think of that, the barbarian hordes, and that puts us in a real situation because